Are you someone that is looking to compete in your first powerlifting competition? Then this checklist is for you. Okay, to start things off, if you're attending your first competition, the first thing you would need would be a singlet. A singlet, one such as this, can either be picked up online or at your nearest sports store. If they do not have a proper powerlifting singlet, you can also go ahead and ask them for a wrestling singlet, even those that are having competitions. So singlet is something you will be wearing over your t-shirt and your boxers. And while you're wearing a singlet, to all the guys watching this video, I would recommend that you also wear a supportive brief inside. The reason why I'm saying this is because once you put on your singlet and you take a look below, you will know exactly what I'm talking about and why I'm recommending wearing a supporter. And one more thing to add here, I would also say that carry a pair of extra underwear because we never know what's going to go wrong, and if it does, I'd say having an extra pair is handy compared to being commanded. Moving on to the use of equipment during the competition, when it comes to the squat, you can either be using a knee sleeve or you can also go bare knee. Although it is not recommended, since you have the option to use a knee sleeve, I'd say go for using the knee sleeve. You can also be using a pair of wrist wraps. These are something you can use during both the bench press and the squat events. These help you hold the weight better on your back or support your wrist during the bench press. Apart from these, you can also be using a belt. A belt, coming to a belt, it's a bit, it's a two-way street. So since you can also use a lever belt as well as a leather belt, one such as this. However, there are some dimension limitations when it comes to using a belt. The ones that you see, the leather belts, the ones that you see at the gym, which have a uneven width. It starts small and then becomes wide in between and then becomes small later. Those kinds of belts are not allowed during competition. You can also be using a lever belt, but generally most people be using a prong belt, one such as this. So these are what, when it comes down to the equipment. Let's discuss the footwear next. Moving on to the footwear that you can be using during a powerlifting competition. For the squat event, I suggest using a elevated heel shoe, one such as this. This will help you squat better. And moving on to the bench press and deadlift events, I suggest the use of a flat sole shoe, one such as this. These help with providing better grip of the floor, and if you're aware about the clawing the earth concept when it comes to deadlifting, these provide proper grip of the floor, so to say. And coming to the socks that you can use, I suggest carrying two pairs of socks. One that comes all the way to your shin, the normal kind of socks that you'll be using every day. And talking about the deadlift socks, this is something that's a longer variation of the socks, more like the football socks that you might be seeing. These come all the way over your shins and then they stop right under your knees. So this is something that is mandatory during the deadlift event. So carrying a pair of deadlift socks is recommended. Moving on to the more optional stuff you can carry to the competition, I'd start off with the resistance band. Most of the competitions are held at venues that have little to no gym equipment, so carrying a resistance band with you will do good for your warm-ups. I would also recommend carrying some food along with you. If you cannot carry food with you, it's not a problem. Just take a scoop of protein powder into a shaker and just carry it with you there and fill some water and drink it if you get hungry. I would also recommend carrying something like protein bars or chocolate bars if it comes to it for snacking purposes. Because we never know how long the competition is going to take. The competition might take around 3 to 6 hours depending upon the federation you're competing in. So it would do good to carry food with you. I would also recommend carrying something for pain relief. For example, if you use Volini spray, I recommend getting this with you as well. And if you're a user of liquid chalk, please do get a tube of liquid chalk with you because the venue will only be providing the physical powdered chalk. If you're a user of pre-workout, get pre-workout with you for the competition. And then if you use smelling salts, please do get that. Please do take that with you as well because the venue is not going to be providing any of these. And the more other optional stuff I would say would be a tracksuit. If you're representing a team in a national competition, you will definitely be carrying a tracksuit with you. And most competitions and most federations do not allow an athlete to get on the podium without a tracksuit. So I recommend getting a tracksuit with you if that's something you have. Otherwise, it's still fine. And apart from all these, I also recommend getting some electrolytes with you. Let's say, for example, you can carry some Gatorade with you, and if that's not an option, pick up something like an ORS, a liquid ORS. Electrol would do good. take 2 or 3 packets with you and just fill it up in a water bottle and then drink it for a twice, because cramps is something that will happen during a competition, and this is the best way to avoid cramps. If possible, get some bananas with you as well. That'll do good as well. So yeah, I think we can put an end to this competition checklist. I'll be listing down all the things that I mentioned here. Feel free to take a screenshot. So that's it for the competition checklist video. If you found this video helpful, please do give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And thanks for watching.